Good afternoon everyone, it's BigFriendlyWarGamer here again, and as usual on a Friday, normally Friday, sometimes Saturday, Sunday, whatever, I'm going to do my ramble like I always do, yeah, it's my first day off work. I'm feeling awake for a change, so I'm going to show you what I've got on my desk right now. Right, so this may be a bit different from normal in that I may actually finish some models today. So to start with, we've got the 4 Beastmen from Blackstone Fortress on my desk, these 4 guys here. We've got the 2 Rattlings, which are Ren and Rouse, which I base coated and shaded the other day. And then we've got Thaddeus the Purifier, this is the priest guy. He's not started yet, but we may do some work on him today, we may not. We got my Triarch Stalker, which I started edge highlighting last week, which I didn't do any more work on, so I need to finish him. Got my 3 Death Guard, which is my 2 Blight Kings either side, and then the Plague Surgeon, which again are quite close to being finished. We've got my Tyranids, which are completed models. I'm not going to be painting them. The guy for the painting challenge, which I finished last week. My other Tyranid Prime. And then we've got the Elder Ranger from Blackstone Fortress. I can't remember their names. We've got the 2 Rogue Psychers. And we got the Zealot, which again I can't remember the names. And then we've got the big bad boss, the Chaos Lord. And we've got the Robot. And then we got the Blood Bowl Ogre, which isn't even undercoated. So there we go. Probably going to be working on these Beastmen and the Rattlings and possibly the Stalker today. Maybe the what's it called, the Death Guard guys as well. We'll just see. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully my battery's going to hold up because I haven't charged it. But you know, it is what it is. But I'm going to set my camera up and I'm going to get painting. Right, so here we go. Now, these Beastmen, basically they just need their bases doing now. Maybe a few other little bits, but not a lot really. They're more or less finished. The Rattlings need their layering done. One thing I am going to do is... should I base these guys? No, I'm going to paint their robes. So for that I need Pallid Witch Flesh. So yeah, it's been a long week. My weeks are always long now because I'm working 7 days in a row, but there you go. Had an incident where I broke my phone last night at work, which is fun. I mean, proper, the screen shattered. So I had to order a new one. Should turn up today. It might do. Who knows? But yeah, it is the 6th. It's the 7th actually. It's the 7th of June. I've got a whole weekend off. So yeah, I'm going to be going Games Workshop on Sunday, try out the new contrast paints and get some painting done. And then I'm going to be going to the club on Monday, playing a bit of Battlefleet Gothic and a bit of Necromunda. But for today, let's get some painting done. So I'm going to grab my number 2 brush, so it's got a nice point to it and I can use it for smaller detailing than you would think. But we're just gonna see. I painted these guys are mostly finished now. I actually need to shade that bit of the clothes. Yeah, these guys are mostly finished. So I finished the flesh yesterday, although I need to do a glaze on them. Finished painting the red. Basically done most of the colours on them now, and they're actually quite close to being complete, so be very happy when they are, because again my Death Guard will be up to date, and I'll then be waiting for the next lot. which are going to be a couple of weeks away, I would think. Yeah, it's 7th today. Generally speaking, they come on the 22nd, so I've got a couple of weeks to wait. I could build the other Death Shroud Terminators and get them painted, but I also have a Chaos Spawn which I'm going to throw into this army as well. The Spawn won't take very long to paint, I wouldn't think. So yeah, so it's been a good week. I've got some painting done. I started working out a little bit again, and I'm going to carry on that while I'm off work this weekend. So I haven't done it yet today, but I'm going to be lifting some weights a bit later. Plague Surgeon. Work's been quite tiring. I mean, by tiring I mean I've not been getting a hell of a lot of sleep, and I've been dozing off at work basically, which it's not a good thing really, but I haven't got anyone watching over me, so it's not a big deal. And I'm still getting plenty of work done. It's hard to concentrate sometimes. I find when I'm tired, my mind wanders and I think about other things. Won't go into what, because you really don't need to know what's in my head, but there you go. But yeah, it's it is what it is. But yeah, I've been getting a bit of painting done every day, more or less. I think yeah, I did painting yesterday, and it hasn't been forced. I've been wanting to paint as well, so it's been quite a good thing. Sometimes when you're just tired and you're like, oh, I've just got to, let me just do an hour, and it feels very forced, like you don't want to do it. But I actually really want to paint all the time at the moment. So like tonight, for example, normally my first night off, I'm falling asleep all the time and stuff like that, but I feel very awake today. So probably all the sleep that I've had at work over the week, but it's fine. When I say I've been dozing off at work, it's like little bits and pieces. It's not. I haven't been having a full hour or 2 hour sleep or anything like that, so it's nothing too bad. But that's how I broke my phone. I was in the crew room, which is the rest area, and I just nodded off a little bit and I dropped my phone from not very big height, but it was high enough to crack all the screen, which then made because it's a touchscreen phone, it then made it completely useless. And to be quite honest, I don't plan on paying £300 to get the phone repaired, and it's 6 years old, so I just ordered a new phone. But being that it's my day off, it also means that I get to have a little drink tonight. So I went and got my hair cut today, not obviously, but I did. Got it chopped off because it was getting too long, it was getting on my nerves. Stopped in Tesco's and got myself some ciders, so yeah. One thing I find very weird, our local Tesco's is right opposite the school. Now it's only one of these little Tesco Express, and when it gets near to the school time, with school coming out, they hide all the baskets. Like, they put them all in the back because the kids have been nicking the baskets. I'm like, really? What? How bored do you have to be to nick baskets from Tesco's? But there you go. It's kids for you. Who knows what kids do these days? Sound like a proper old man. But it's alright, 'cause I'm getting old anyway, so it's fine. During the war, but yeah, the painting's coming on good. I'm hoping to get 10 models finished this weekend. Possibly more. I've given myself set myself a little target. So I said to a friend of mine that if I get my 200 models painted by the end of July, that I will stop painting for a little while and start working on my revertine. To do that, I've got to clear more than 25 models a month, which is totally doable at the rate I'm painting. And I want to get that revertine built. I mean, as much as it terrifies me looking at it and all of the parts and stuff like that, I really just want to get it done. Especially with these contrast paints coming out now, it may make it quite a bit easier to get that Titan painted as well. Now the main reason that I want to get it painted is at the end of the month they're bringing the Apocalypse supplement out. Well, they are apparently, but at the moment they're having a bit of an issue with any kind of rule books or anything like that. So the whole China embargo and stuff like that, the trade disputes. Sounds like a bloody opening bit from Phantom Menace, trade dispute. But there you go. So that's his cloak done. Well, the first layer anyway, I need to do a second layer on it. Now I painted this guy's sword in quite a weird way. It's just basically I highlighted the black and then I put some glazes on it. Now it looks kind of weird, but kind of weird is what I was going for. It's called a bale sword. So for me, balefire is supposed to be like weird fire. Sometimes it's like blue fire and stuff like that. So yeah, I quite like it. I may have to. So I think this sword is the only sword I've got in the Terminator squad. I could be wrong, but I'll have to have a look. I can't actually remember what the other guys are armed with. The other three. But we'll see. So yeah, I've been building my gang for Necromunda. I've got 5 of them built now. I've got another 5 to do, but I need to clean up some Forge World stuff to build some of the others. So I'm going to do that over the weekend. I'm probably going to put them in soak tonight. Let them soak, give them a scrub tomorrow, and then hopefully build them. And then I may even put an undercoat and some layers on them. But we'll see. Now I'm pretty sure one of them is definitely not going to be fully built. He's going to be missing an arm because I need to buy another box for one of the weapons. So Right, so that's the first layer on all of them done. Apart from the guy that I've got to reshade. I'm just going to start on the second layer now. So yeah, testing out the new colours, the new paints on Sunday in Games Workshop. Sorry, in the Warhammer store as it is now. Now, the thing that appeals to me with them is how easy it seems to paint yellow. Because anyone who's painted miniatures will know that yellow is quite a nightmare to get right. And my other Space Marine army, not Blood Angels, are Imperial Fists, which are bright yellow Marines. And so yeah, I want to see what that comes out like. So I'm probably going to be testing that out on Sunday. Or I may test out how easy it is to paint Blood Angels with the new paints. I don't know yet. I'm going to grab some Space Marine models that I haven't got undercoated yet and just take them with me. Ooh, let's not knock him over. For example, I've got some of the Vanguard Marines from Shadespire. Shadespire? I can't remember what it's called. The box set, the most recent 40k box set that come out with the new Chaos stuff in it. I'll see. I'll just decide on the day what to take with me. But I've got a whole night and a whole day of painting ahead of me before then, so tomorrow there's no sport on now. The England game was yesterday and they lost to Holland, or Netherlands, or whatever you want to call them now. So we're not in the final for the Nations League, so we're in the fourth playoff, which is a totally pointless game. So, and the Grand Prix Sunday, which I'm not going to be here, so I can watch it later on when I get home. I'll probably get some painting done Sunday night as well. But yeah, it's just weird that I bought this new laptop, and it's don't get me wrong, the laptop's fantastic. It's like the gaming side of it is awesome. I just got no drive to actually game on it, so yeah, I want to paint all the time. And anyone who's been in this hobby for a length of time will know that when you've got the urge to paint and you've got time, then just paint, because there's far too often when you really don't want to paint, you're not motivated to do it. So yeah, so I'm gonna paint. I don't know if I said this last week. I watched the final episodes of Game of Thrones. I can't remember if it was before I done the recording last week or afterwards. I really liked it. I know people have been knocking it and whatever, but you've got to understand that they had to finish the characters off. Do you know what I mean? So I thought it was quite a good ending. It's not everyone lived happily ever after as such, but they did in their own way. So yeah, I thought it was quite good. I know a lot of people have been knocking it and calling for it to be redone. I'm like, it's typical of the human race at the moment. Everyone wants stuff done their way or no way. It's just like, this is what they've recorded. If you don't like it, don't make a complaint and try and get it redone. So yeah, it's just typical of even just Britain at the moment. If you don't like something, whinge enough and people will change it. It's like, no. People are allowed to not like things, you know what I mean? It's not, you don't have to please everyone all of the time. Like, I can't stand this Poxy Love Island thing that they keep going on about at the moment. The only thing I know about that is the silly page that people keep posting up about the guy who gets his mum to shave his arse or something like that. So I don't know nothing about that programme. I don't really want to know because that reality TV crap bores me. So yeah, really not interested in it, but there you go. But it's on TV. I'm not going to go out of my way to try and get it banned from TV or anything like that, because people are entitled to like things that other people don't like. But right now I'm going to take a quick break. I will see you in a minute. Right, and just like that the desk is changed. Right, so I've done what I wanted to do on the Death Guard for now. I'm going to let their cloaks and stuff dry. I'm going to start work on the bases for these guys. Now I've got a certain way that I paint these, following mostly Warhammer TV's guide. So they're painted black. So first thing I've got to do is I've got Araman blue. Trying not to shake the camera too much. It's a bit weird with this, yeah, because they tell you to put a layer down and then put a base colour down on top, but it works, so I go with it. I don't need a hell of a lot because it's just going to be some thin lines I'm going to be painting. As always, shut the pot up after me. And for this I'm going to use my detail brush. Just see if I can actually do this where you can see it. So get a nice point on your brush. Just, oh, there's too much paint. Just do a line and then just do some random other lines. You don't want it to look too uniform across all the bases, so I tend to get a little bit creative sometimes with this. You don't want to do it too much either. You'll see why once it's finished. Now with the Beastmen, there's a lot of empty space on the bases, so you might want to put a bit more than you would for the, say, like the Imperial Guard, the Traitor Guard, sorry. Just a little bit of water there. One more line about there. I think that one's about good. So again, grab the next one. Now this one's got a bit of a ridge, so it's almost like a low wall in the slot. Again, I've got to just add a little bit of water to this, because it needs to run quite well, the paint off the brush. So and like, I wouldn't do this sort of basing on it on everything, but I wanted my Blackstone Fortress set to look pretty good. So I'm actually putting a lot of effort into the bases and stuff. More effort than I would do for like standard army or anything like that. So this brush seems to be very thirsty today for some reason. When I say thirsty, it seems to be absorbing a lot of the paint very quickly. So just need to keep topping it up with a little bit of water. Let the paint run a bit better. So yeah, I didn't realise until recently I've got a bit of a theme going with my Blackstone Fortress set. So my Traitor Guard, one of the squads are actual Cadians, Cadian shock troops from 40k, which was fine until I realised that my Beastmen were also in Cadian armour. So I decided to paint the Ratlings in Cadian armour as well. That bit's way too big, but it's okay, I'll tidy that up in a bit later. See, with this scheme that I'm doing, it's kind of forgiving. If you make the lines too big, it's fine, because you can tidy them up later on with later coats. So, but you still want to try and keep the lines fairly thin. Just don't worry too much if you make them a bit thick. So. But yeah, with I'm painting, well, I'm building my Dilat gang. I got to thinking that you need to have line of sight arcs on their bases. So what I was considering doing was painting their bases, because they're texture bases, they're the Mechanicum sector bases. And I was going to put like lines like this to represent their arcs, because the only arc that matters is your forward arc in Necromunda, because it's basically what your fighter can see. So yeah, I may do that. I don't know if I'd do it like this colour or not. So that's the first layer on there done. Brush back there while I clean my palette. So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to. I've been playing a lot of the old specialist games of late. Playing Battlefield Gothic the other week. Played some Blood Bowl quite a bit over the past year or so. Playing Necromunda, because that's the name of the game. Playing Necromunda on Monday. Just, it's all kind of a bit of a nostalgia trip at the moment, my hobby, which is great, because back in the 90s when all these games were around was when I was getting into the hobby. With a friend of mine, basically they used to come over in the school holidays and stuff, and used to stay next door, which was where his nan lived, and we just used to wargame like most of the summer. And yeah, it was, some of it was like, it got a bit weird, because like we were playing 40k and then playing Necromunda, where you're literally just playing against the same gang over and over again, but it was fine. I actually think I need to put some more lime and medium into that. I need it thinner. So yeah, so I don't think we ever got playing Battlefield Gothic, but I know we definitely played Necromunda. We definitely played 40k quite a lot. He wasn't into like fantasy, Warhammer Fantasy, but I think I wasn't into it either. Right, so we can get this brush for that, because it doesn't have to be too neat. So for this stage, got a very watered down paint, and basically what we're going to do is just fill in some of the sections. Now this won't be too strong because it's like heavily thinned down, and give it a bit of a like glassy sort of look, which is exactly what I like, what I'm after with this. So at some point I've got to get on the first expansion pack for this, the Dread Amble, because I got bought it for my birthday and I literally haven't done anything with it, haven't touched it or anything, still in its box, but I will. The whole plan was to get this set painted by the summer, which I'm kind of on track. I mean, I've got, after these guys that I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more models to paint, and a few of them are going to be fairly easy. Like the Black Legion Lord, he's going to be quite quick to paint. The robot should be quite quick as well. The Rogue Psychers again shouldn't take too long, but we'll see. Yeah, with this I'm almost glazing onto the base, just tinting the colour of the base a little bit. You don't have to be too neat about it. course, the randomness of Blackstone Fortress as well, it kind of helps if it's not uniform and perfect. So I mean, it might work perfectly with my shift pattern being what it is and playing Blackstone Fortress, so everyone else can play what they want to play for the 3 weeks that I'm not there, and then the 1 week I am there, we'll all jump on and play Blackstone Fortress. So yeah. Right, so that's the second stage down. Literally now I've just got to, it's not going to take long to dry, so I'm just going to have a quick swig of my drink, and once I've cleaned the palette, of course. I like my clean palette. It's a bit worn, but it's okay. Right, so I'm going to go with Baharos Blue next. So I actually need that for that stage. That paint's done now. Now this is an edge colour, which what we're going to do is we're going to highlight the lines. I'm going to highlight the lines. I keep saying we, it's me that's painting. But we need it watered down, because edge paints can be a little bit chalky. So just add a bit of water into it and it's fine. They're supposed to be a little bit chalky because you're supposed to use them for edge highlighting, so calling them chalky isn't being negative towards them. They're supposed to be like that. So for this I'm going for my extra small artificer brush, which I actually could probably do with buying a new one of these, but it's holding its own for now. Move these three back a bit. And for this you don't want a lot of paint at all, and just retrace the lines but don't fill them in fully. Just get a little bit more water. Sometimes you just need to wet the bristles of the brush a little bit, just to help the flow of the paint. So I've been looking into possible ways of live streaming stuff. Now my computer will probably do it if I'm playing a game, but I want to do it while I'm painting, so it may involve me downloading some software and stuff. I may ask around and ask a few other YouTubers and stuff what they use. Now I know that I could live stream straight onto YouTube. Well, I believe I can anyway. Which is something I probably could do, but I don't know. I might give it a go. I mean, maybe when I'm off next shift I might do. I might even do it tomorrow. I don't know yet. Of course, this video will be uploading probably overnight, because my computer's so far away from my Wi-Fi box that it kind of, I get quite a slow Wi-Fi signal. So that's the second one. So as you can see, that well, you might be able to see it standing out quite brightly now. And there's only, after this, there's only 2 more layers to do, and the bases are finished. Well, kind of finished. I like to give the rubble in the middle a bit of a shade on the dry brush. That won't be a problem. So yeah, that'll be these models complete then. Because like I said, I've been painting these on and off for a little while now, and yeah, it'd be nice because I don't really get box sets finished. When I buy the starter sets for 40k, I end up concentrating on one army and kind of ignoring the other. Blackstone Fortress isn't like that because it's a proper board game in its own right. But even then, like Silver Tower, I never finished painting, even though I was trying to get through it all. But to get Blackstone Fortress finished would be really quite good. And I actually should get these finished while I'm sitting here painting right now. So, right, so that's that stage done on them. Now the next stage is really simple. Basically where all the lines intersect, so where they touch and stuff. Just gonna basically put a dab of white. So it looks almost like a lightning effect. I'm very aware that my phone could turn up at any time, so I may be stopping the video and going away for a little bit. Let's put him back on there before he falls off. Now I find, because I've used this water quite a lot and it's kind of blue, it might affect the white scar a little bit, but I'm not too bothered, purely because it's on a blue background. It's not too bad, and it hasn't really affected the white anyway. So again, go with the extra small artificer brush. For this, we're literally just going to go a bit there, a bit there. So it's very small amounts of white you're putting on. That's that one done. And then all that's left after this is the hard coat layer and clean up, and it's done. Because yeah, I wanted to get some stuff finished on one of my rambles, purely because I don't normally. And when I start painting models, you don't end up actually seeing the end results on my rambles, because I end up painting them off screen. Which, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see them, but or Instagram or Facebook or whatever, you'll see the finished product. But if you just follow me on YouTube, you normally won't. What I am planning on doing is a little once I hit the 200 model mark, I'm going to do a little video showcase of everything I've painted so far this year. And now I've kind of got the hang of painting, taking photos of models properly. I got myself a little rotating disc thingy, which is that down there. I put stuff on there, and I have a book behind it. So an idea I pinched from a friend of mine, and it gives off quite good photos. So I'm gonna stick with doing that. Right, so for the last coat, which is the gloss layer, get some lamy medium. I need quite a lot of this. 1, 2, 3 brushes, and then we're going to do the same with the hard coat. Now, until I started painting this Blackstone Fortress stuff, I had never used hard coat, and I was always under the impression that hard coat was like what's it called, varnish, but it's not. So this hard coat, this pot of hard coat, is the same pot that I got with the paint rack thing that I've got. I just never used it. There's 1, 2. It's getting a bit coloured, but it's fine because it's just taking off the old paint from the brush, but it's not a problem. Now I'm going to go with my big brush. I'm just going to give it an all over coat. But everywhere except the gravel bit. So I don't know if you can see, but it's got kind of a... I'll hold one up to the camera when I've finished. Now obviously you've got to bear in mind that the layer is still wet, but it gives it quite a shiny glass effect. I just don't know if I'm going to bother doing anything with the little walls. I don't think I will. Doesn't really need it. So there you go. Obviously way too much hard coat and lamy medium used, but that's okay. So literally all I've got to do with these Beastmen now is shade the little texture bit and dry brush it, and then paint the rims black, and the models are done. So let's see if you can see how shiny the base is. It almost looks like cracked glass, which is exactly what I was going for. So these guys now can go to one side because they're more or less done. And to be quite honest, I think I'm more or less done. What I could do is, yeah, let's put the texture paint down on the Death Guard. So we've got Astra Granite for this, Astra Granite debris, shaking medium, texture paints is really clever, but anyway, you still have to shake texture paints. Now these guys have still got a bit of work I've got to do on them. Like the robes have still got to do a bit of stuff to them, but getting this texture paint down is just the stage I've got to be doing at some point anyway, so it's not going to interrupt the models too much if I do it now, so it's not going to interrupt the models at all, to be honest, but there you go. I did try something else out the other day. I'm going to be painting a human Blood Bowl team in the next little while. I don't know how exactly when I'll be doing it. What I tried was whether I could get a muddy, grassy look on texture paint. Once I've done this guy, I'll show you the results. I think it's too muddy rather than grassy, so I may have to rethink it. But it may also be because I haven't painted the rim. When you paint the rim on the bases, it gives it kind of a finished look. So, and these guys as well, I'm going to be putting magnets in all their bases. So the Blood Bowl team, that is. It's just so that when they're carrying the ball, the ball doesn't keep rolling off and disappearing. So I'm going to have to put magnets in the balls as well. That's not going to be too much of a problem. That's literally, I can put a ball bearing, embed it in like the ball somewhere, and it'll be done. Right, so that's his texture paint done. Now this is the finished result. I think I might have actually showed you the other day or last week. It's very muddy. It's a little bit too muddy, so I may not go with that. Right, so Terminator 1. So the thing with these large bases, the 40mm bases, they can sometimes look a bit like there's too much space, especially when all you're doing is texture paint. So people are tempted to put like a skull on here, there, and other stuff like that. I just don't bother because I want my army to look the same across the board. I started painting them with texture paint, so I'll carry on painting them with texture paint. And to be honest, all of my armies are based like this for 40k, except my Harlequins. No, even my Harlequins are part based like this because they've got like ruins on the bases as well, but they're still on grey bases. It's just the way I like to base my 40k miniatures. Now some of this will ride up onto the models as well, but I also don't mind that. It gives the miniature looks like they're wading through a war zone, which they are. So yeah, I don't mind that at all. That's Terminator 1 done. Let's just get some of this out of the lid. Now I find this texture paint does seem to get a little bit too dry too quickly, Short of sticking some medium in there, there's not a lot you can do about it really. Now it's at the point, this batch at the moment, where it's okay. Just remember, you do still need to shake it. I'm stupid enough, I shake the dry paints. I don't know why, but I do. It's habit. When you've been painting as long as I have, when you pick up a paint pot, your first thing to do is you shake it. So it doesn't matter what kind of paint it is, I still do it. Because you've got to consider that the dry paints are still a relatively new thing in the hobby when you consider how long Games Workshop's been around for. I mean, the dry paints have only been around for about 4 or 5 years. So, maybe a bit longer, maybe 5 or 6, I don't know. But it's not like they've been around for 20 years or anything like that, so... But yeah, with the new contrast paints, I'm considering painting my Space Crusade set with them. So it'd make it quite easy to just paint Blood Angels, Ultramarines, Imperial Fists with the contrast paints. Now, my Space Crusade set is... Space Crusade's an old game. I think in 1991 it was released. Now my set's not that old, but I did buy it off eBay. Early 2000s, I think. Probably about 2001, 2002. Because I was going through a nostalgia thing with my wargaming, and I've always wanted to get Hero Quest and Space Crusade again, because I had them when I was a kid and I made a mess of them sets. I totally destroyed them, so I wanted sets of them again, because they're games that I remember from my childhood. And a lot of wargaming you'll find is nostalgia, like the whole Necromunda and Blood Bowl and Battlefleet Gothic. It's from my childhood, and I want to, like, you know, people like reliving their childhood sometimes. I mean, fair enough, mine wasn't great, not having to go at my parents for it, but I was bullied a lot at school. It's funny enough, I wasn't actually bullied for being a wargaming geek, but bullied for practically everything else. So yeah. The thing is, that I knew of, there wasn't anyone else in my year at school who actually done this stuff. So I think no one else actually knew what it was, really. Oh, sorry, there was a couple of people. There was the odd friend that I got into it who wasn't into it for very long, realised how expensive the hobby was, and didn't bother. I remember his phrase once was about Games Workshop staff: they're very nice to you while they're ripping you off. That was when we were going up to Games Workshop Ealing with his dad, I believe. But yeah, that was a long time ago. Some 22 years probably. It's annoying remembering things from that long ago. But I'm going to finish the video there for today. Just give you a final look at what these guys look like. So you can see the Beastman's finished and the base is done as well. Well, apart from the little bits I've got to do. But thank you very much if you've sat and listened to me talking rubbish again today. I hope it's been useful. Hope you've been painting along as well. I'm going to carry on painting while the video's rendering and uploading. But I will see you, hopefully, next week. Same day, same channel. You know, all that jazz. But yeah, if you like what you see, please subscribe. And I'm BigFriendlyWarGamer, and I've just shut the camera off. But I will see you next week. Bye bye.